Hello everyone, it's DA here. Hope you guys are doing great. Hope you are doing amazing. Today we have tons of info from the Anthem developers, so I will be going down the list. There are some patches, some changes, and of course we have things that will be coming on the 12th of this month. So they started off talking about the PlayStation 4 crashes and disconnection issues. So from what they said that they have fixed all these known issues. So yeah, so they fixed a lot of those. Now once again, this is scheduled for the 12th of March, and I would also like to know how your PlayStation 4 has improved over this past few days. Now there's also another thing where they fixed an issue with the level 1 Defender rifle doing a whole lot of damage. So a lot of people notice that whenever you're using the Defender rifle, it is actually scaling enemies down to a level 1 as well. So they fixed that issue where that rifle was doing a whole lot of damage. They also added a feature that lets you teleport into the expedition screen from anywhere in Fort Tarsus. Basically, you can just jump straight into your suits, even if you are at the very back where the sentinel stations are. So you will be able to teleport all the way into your suit. Another great thing is that they have finally removed common and uncommon items from the level 30 pool. So once you reach level 30, you will no longer see those items. And they also demonstrated that in the playthrough on the stream. Another thing to point out is that they have reduced the recovery time whenever you get overheat or when you get stun locked or run into a wall, so you're able to recover really quickly. Most especially if you're a Colossus, that recovery time has been improved. Now they've also removed a lot of respawn restrictions that happen in certain zones, so instead of having to wait for others to revive you, you just have to wait for 30 seconds before you can revive yourself. And I think that is actually really good. I'm really glad that they're adding that feature, because God, I hate having to wait for people. Another thing is that the next content drop after this patch is going to be towards the end of the month. I would have wanted it at least next week. And one of the things that they briefly talked about is the fact that they want the world to feel a lot active. So adding a lot of free play events will do a lot of those. Now they also talked about new javelins. So they have their design team working on new javelins coming to Anthem. So they said they're not trying to just toss that in or anywhere like that. They want to make sure that it's unique, it's different. And of course, they talked about new weapons and things like that. They're also going to be having a lot of those coming to the game, including different designs as well. They also have a list that is going to have the definitions for all the inscriptions, so you know what each word or each terminology means, like force or things like luck, so you know what it exactly does. They also talked about the stat page, so they are going to be giving us a stat sheet in the game very soon. Another cool thing is that strongholds have been added to the quick play selection. So when you select the quick play, instead of just regular faction missions and all that kind of stuff, you can now play strongholds, which is really cool. So a lot of new players who are trying to level up, who haven't been able to go into strongholds before, you know, now you can just team up with anyone and all of you guys can just roll into strongholds together. So you may end up getting the Heart of Rage or the Temple of Scars on maybe easy or hard difficulty, who knows. But that is really cool. They fixed the respawn, so you will not be spawning behind that glass wall, which basically stops you from going into the next stage. So they fixed a lot of those. I hated those. I've experienced it in a lot of missions, and finally I'm glad that they're fixing it. They also fixed the ultimate abilities. Ranger's ultimate especially is going to be getting a buff, so they realized that when you move into Grandmaster 1, 2, or maybe 3, the ultimates and a lot of these abilities are not doing enough damage, so they are giving them a buff. That is great job, especially for Ranger mains. They also made some changes to Masterwork gear score, which has now been pushed to 61, and the Legendary has been pushed to around 65 or 67. A lot of your Masterwork items, the score on them will be a lot higher. So Masterwork Ranger, Masterwork Colossus will probably be around 500 and something, because those gear scores have been increased. That also improves the way you perform when it comes to Grandmaster 1, 2, and 3, so it is no longer a death sentence. They also buffed Ranger support ability, most especially the Bulwark, so it doesn't get melted every time you just roll into Grandmaster, so people actually get to use it. And if I heard it correctly, they probably have a little bit of a tank phase in it, where for the first few seconds, it just absorbs everything without just deleting itself. Gunslinger's mark inscription is also getting fixed. In terms of Colossus, the Colossus will now be able to charge through a lot of tough objects with his shield. So instead of being repelled or bounced back, you can actually charge through them now. Titans can now be primed, so now you can prime Titans and deal combo damage. Now, to be honest, out of all the entire dev stream, it was really hard to pick out the questions, or even for them to pick out the questions, because there is still a lot of crazy, bashing and angry fans in the comment section, which I really do understand. However, it makes it almost impossible for anyone to pick out any questions, but hopefully things get better in the future. But that is going to be it for Anthem's developer recap. Let me know what changes you had hoped that they would address. Now, there is a long patch note that will be coming out very soon, so some of the things that I did not mention here could probably be in that patch note. Anyways, thanks for watching. Hope you find this informative. It's DS signing out. I'll see you in the next one.